Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and lots of news is coming to the forefront as the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, arrives in Philly. That is, it starts today on the 25th and goes all the way through the 28th. Well, lots has surfaced. We know most recently, and I'm going to show you a report on this, that the DNC chief, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has stepped aside due to the hacking of emails scandal that was leaked on WikiLeaks, who also released all of Hillary Clinton's emails about a month ago, or in March, I believe, her emails came to surface on WikiLeaks. Well, now WikiLeaks has managed to get their intel, their hands on files from the DNC members and emails that have gone back and forth, and they reveal everything from targets on Bernie Sanders to I would say, borderline cheating and thievery from Bernie Sanders, as well as some anti-Trump protests, unfair treatment, and name calling in addition to that. But what I want to do is take you to the actual emails for yourselves so you can see and not have to take anybody's word for it. Let's open up that can of worms and see, as Hillary says, what's inside. All right, so here's the first thing I want to show you. This is on NBCnews.com. This is one of many, but the DNC chief, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, stepping aside in the wake of the scandal or the leaked emails from the DNC. So there's that. And obviously, this followed that leak. Now, where did the leak come from? Well, from WikiLeaks, who has been known to leak quite a bit of information. On Friday, the 22nd, this came out. They released 19,252 emails, 8,000 attachments from the top of the U.S. Democratic National Committee. Part one of their new Hillary series. Why she is even able to get where she's at behooves me. Lots of stealing must have happened, lots of corruption, and that is exactly what these email files reveal. But they come from everyone, including Louis Moran, Jordan Kaplan, Scott Comer, and everyone you see in this list here. Now, if you want to look for certain things, what you would do is type in a word in this field below, and it will pull up everything that has that particular information in there. Now, I've done that with some of this, and here's some of the things that have either been going around on the internet or that I have seen, but it will pull it up all below. So if you guys want to delve through this thing, I do encourage that. Now, here's one that I want to show you, and in this particular report, and let me go to that section here. Here it is. Interview request face the nation. This is from Miranda to, you can see the email here. All right, now in this report, Debbie Wasserman Schultz accepted an invitation to CBS's Face the Nation and indicated that the DNC was, in a nutshell, plotting moves based on what would be to the benefit of Hillary Clinton. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, she admits here the Clinton campaign is a mess. Yes, it's been a mess for a very long time. So is Hillary herself, who I also want to show you a video of her reportedly seizing, and I'll get into the type of seizure on that I believe it is. But they're afraid of their own shadow and didn't like that we engaged. I happen to think they're wrong, and it explains why they're hobbling along, unable to close it out. But they'll be unhappy regardless, so better get out there and do some strong pivots and land good purchases on Trump. They can't tell us not to do TV right now. We shouldn't pull ourselves out until they actually do. And they also details that it is clear, and let me scroll that part. There it is. It is clear that Bernie messed up and we were on the right side of history. We're going to take hits. But Bernie defending the actions the way he's done, I think that makes him look more or bad more than us. And a little further up, she says, well, let's take this offline. I basically agree with you. So there is a lot in this email, but there is obviously brainstorm ideas of attacks on Sanders since he messed up and all. Now here's another report where they show and reveal direct correspondence with news agencies. Now we already know that that's something that they were doing, but here we have direct correlation between the DNC as well as, now in this case, it was Real Clear Politics are the ones who they were talking with and convening with, but they're telling them that this particular headline needs to be changed, but it shows a direct correlation between the DNC and news media outlets. Now, there's many of those. If you go back to the main site here, you can see they get a lot of information. I don't have it in this one, but let's type in Bernie, for instance here. You can see there's a lot of Politico. There was also a lot of Washington Post. Now, some of that is just them getting emails from these particular organizations, but others are not. Washington Post. There we go. There we go. So you can see Huffington Post now. Like I said, some of these are just from these organizations that they're following the feeds on, but there's definitely dialogue taking place, as this particular report has revealed. Now, here's another email, and I'm going to leave all these for you below, but this one's titled, No, Yep, You Got It. So quite vulgarity there, but here they actually start questioning his Bernie Sanders Jewish beliefs. Now look, I don't like Bernie Sanders, nor do I like Hillary Clinton, but nonetheless, this woman, her campaign are known for continuous scandals, yet she is running for president of the United States of America. First we had Benghazi, then we had her email scandal, and now DNC emails are linked showing more corruption. What the heck is going on here? Such a woman should not have even gotten to the place where she's at. But nonetheless, it says it makes no difference. We need to get somebody to question his belief. Does he even believe in God? He said he had a Jewish heritage, and I think he's an atheist. And this is something that we should basically draw a conclusion on. And you can see the headline there. But there's another disturbing email. Now, here is another WikiLeaks email. There's tons of these. It would take forever to go through them all. But problem brewing in Rhode Island. Now, this email reveals that a staffer took a tone on Sanders supporters, basically disgruntled, but speaking about them more of a nuisance to the party. And she quotes down here, if she outperforms this polling, speaking of Hillary, the Bernie camp will go nuts and allege misconduct. They'll probably complain regardless, actually. We might want to get out in front of this one with an inquiry to the RI government, even though she's one of ours. Here is yet another email. Now, this email, and I'm going to type in the keyword here, kind of helps. Okay. The passing of these rules and initial credentials report was extremely contentious this morning as expected, but things have chilled out now. We have the Sanders folks, we, as in their organization, have the Sanders folks admitting that they lost fair and square, not because we rigged anything. What? Is that an admission of rigging something? Because they say we have convinced the Sanders folks that they lost fair and square. Did they really lose fair and square, or did you cheat and rig it, Hillary? Because according to this email, you made the Sanders folks believe it wasn't rigged. Clinton likely to win the state convention with a slim margin. We'll send a release with final delegate numbers. I don't know about you, but that is a big mess, in my opinion. Now, here is another one. This is the Bernie narrative. It is to Miranda sent by Mark Poschenbach. And it states, wondering if there's a good Bernie narrative for a story. What trash can we dig up on it? Which is that Bernie never, ever had his act together. His campaign's a mess. We had to call Bernie directly in order to get his campaign to do things. What things? Because they either ignored or forgotten to do something critical. She had to call Bernie after the data breach to make his staff to respond to our concerns. Well, you know what? Data breach on the woman. Hello, she shouldn't be even running for president. Even then, they didn't get back to us, which is why we had to shut off their access in order to get them to finally let us know exactly how they snooped around particular data. Same was true with the standing committee appointments. They never got back with us, and so on and so forth. It's not a DNC conspiracy. It's because they never had their act together in the first place. Moving on. In another email, there is an email where he's an ass, and that's referring to Weaver. Mark saying that about Weaver. Interesting information there. Now here is another article, again, from Mark, or to Mark here, from this particular address. But Sanders, Democratic Party hasn't been fair to me. No, actually, they hadn't, but there's that admission. Here is another email to Miranda here, and it says, this is a silly story, talking and responding in regards to Sanders saying if he's elected, DNC leader would be out because he isn't going to be president. Do they know something we don't? Here is a quick dialogue about Politico, who put out a report, I guess, on money laundering scheme by the Clintons. How do we respond? What should we draft on this? What does it look like? But dialogue going back and forth, and how they're going to combat that. Now, there's a lot of that in these emails. Now, don't forget, they even bash Trump, obviously, because he is some of that, but here is one on Trump Muslims banned, where they basically instigate the story saying, Trump is anti-Muslim, but pushing ideas, pushing rhetoric against Trump, pushing protests against Trump. But there is this kind of initiation or response back and forth. So you guys can read that. I will leave links to that as well. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you here, and this kind of gets a little more on it, is the dailycaller.com, who they reveal the leaked emails show DNC officials planned some of the Trump protests. And I believe it was on April 29th are some of the dates here where you can actually put that in the boxes there and gather up that information, where they said, whoa, thanks to our intern for finding out about this particular anti-protest. But nonetheless, Bernie was not the only one targeted. Apparently, Trump and others were as well. Corruption is everywhere this woman goes. But not only corruption, here we have a woman that is attempting to be president through corruption means, but not only that, she evidently has health issues. Here's a report put out a while back on Thursday, February of this year, the 2016 of this year. And here it says 10 Hillary health issues that have raised questions. So this woman not only is causing a lot of corruption, but she has some pretty major health issues. Coughing fits, fall, fractures, elbow, faint, blood clot, prisms for glasses, prescription blood thinner, thyroid issues, brain damage. That answers everything, doesn't it? She's brain dead. Bill says it took 6 months for her to recover whatever particular issue she was having that time. But I'll leave this for you below. Now let's also take a look at her latest seizing habit that recently happened. Now, what you're looking at here, I want you to notice a few things that you're seeing with Hillary. Her eyes blinked, and her head bobbled back and forth. Well, there is one type of seizure that does that. And that is, we're going to scroll down here to that section. But it is called an absence seizure. And look, they are generally seizures that typically occur without warning. She wasn't warned, and cause lapses of attention lasting from 5 to 30 seconds. Maybe that's why she referenced her coffee. Following this seizure, the individual is immediately alert, which she was, but unaware of what happened during the seizure, which may be why she sidetracked onto another topic. Children who experience absence seizures sometimes describe their lives as movies. Most people experience what physicians call these seizures can involve eye blinking, head bobbing, or jerking movements of the face or lips. In addition to the characteristic lapses, of attention. So that, if anything, sounds absolutely like what Hillary just experienced. In other words, we have a sick, demented, corrupt woman running for the president of the United States while idiot supporters of her are voting for her simply because she's a woman. I'm a woman and I won't vote for the witch. Let me put it that way. She doesn't deserve the ground that she stands on. She is criminal at every level, and it's insanity that she has even gotten this far, which we know the only reason she has is because her husband is a member of the Bilderbergs, and I'm sure she is got some pull in it as well, or at least some level of pull. But nonetheless, wanted to bring you the details and let you see the emails, or at least a very small portion of the emails for yourself, so you can see what is really going on. Well, thanks again for tuning in. And don't forget to check out my partner at getthetea.com. He's got a brand new vitamin T in liquid form. Amazing. I take my little more than 10 drops a day, but it's great stuff. Anyhow, thanks again. This is Lisa Haven signing off.